Why do you lie about your guardian? Why did you lie about who helped you with your assignment?
The class fell silent the moment the papers hit the floor. A stack of worksheets slid across the linoleum like a deck of thrown cards, scattering at the feet of the boy sitting in the second-to-last row. Liam didn't say a word. He didn't even flinch. He just stared down at the paper resting on his sneaker as if it belonged to someone else. Miss Harrington stood over him with her arms crossed and her chin raised high, like she was towering over a criminal, not a 14-year-old kid. "So," she said loudly enough for the whole room to hear, "you expect me to believe this?" A few students snickered. Others leaned in with the kind of hunger people have when they sense humiliation coming. Liam didn't look up. Miss Harrington smacked her palm against his desk. "Look at me when I'm talking to you." Slowly Liam raised his eyes. They were dark, calm, unreadable, the kind of eyes that showed pain but never invited pity. "This report," she said, waving the crumpled sheet of paper between her fingers, "is not your work, and you're going to explain to the entire class where you really got it." A ripple of whispers went through the room, because everyone knew the rumor. Liam was the quiet one, the boy who always wore the same faded hoodie, who never showed up with lunch money, who walked home even when it rained. No social media. No phone. No parent ever came to meetings. No one knew anything about him except what they assumed, and assumptions in middle school were louder than facts. A boy with that kind of life wasn't supposed to turn in a report like this. A detailed analysis of global infrastructure innovation, with advanced vocabulary, original ideas, and insights even adults would struggle to understand. "Tell the truth," Miss Harrington pressed, folding her arms. "Did you steal it? Pay someone to write it? Did you find it online?" Liam swallowed. "I wrote it." The class erupted in laughter. Even Miss Harrington let out a small, tight chuckle. "Please, you expect us to believe you understand half the words in this essay? Liam, you can barely participate in class discussions." Liam lowered his gaze again. "You asked us to write about someone who inspires us. So I wrote about the person who raised me." "Oh," she said sharply. "And who might that be? Some world-famous genius." Liam opened his mouth, hesitated, and closed it again, because saying it always made things worse. Miss Harrington raised her eyebrows. "Go on. Tell the class." He shook his head. "You won't believe me." More laughter. Someone whispered. "Here he goes again." Miss Harrington smoothed her blouse and leaned closer, lowering her voice just enough to sound cruel but not enough that it couldn't be heard. "Liam, this school values honesty. Your life may be complicated, but that doesn't give you an excuse to lie." Liam's jaw clenched. "I didn't lie." She slammed the paper onto his desk. "Then prove it. Tell us who your guardian is." Silence thickened around him like fog. Liam's shoulders tightened. His hands curled into fists beneath the desk. I can't." "You mean you won't?" she snapped. The tension in the room stretched so tight it felt ready to snap. Then someone from the back muttered, "Probably some imaginary superhero again." The class laughed, and even though the words weren't meant to wound deeply, they hit something sensitive inside Liam, something that had been bruised many times before. Miss Harrington stepped back and announced, "Until you tell the truth, Liam will receive a 0 for the assignment." The laughter died down. Even the class wasn't expecting that. A few kids exchanged uneasy glances. A girl near the window bit her lip, looking torn. But no one said anything. No one ever did. Liam's throat tightened. That report was the one thing he'd done with pride. The one thing that felt like a connection to the person who taught him everything he knew. He blinked hard. "Please don't give me a 0. Miss Harrington turned away. "Then be honest." "I am honest." Her voice sharpened. "Then why are you hiding your guardian's name?" "Because people don't act normal after they know," Liam whispered. She scoffed. "Oh please. We're not children. Nothing you could say would surprise us." Liam stared down at his hands. "It always surprises people." "Enough," she said firmly. "You're making excuses again." He closed his eyes, took a deep breath, and finally spoke. "My guardian is." The classroom door swung open so fast it hit the stopper with a crack. Every head snapped toward it. "Kindly like, comment, and subscribe to the channel." A tall man stepped inside. No hesitation, no fear, no uncertainty. He carried an aura that filled the room instantly, like gravity bending around him. He wore a dark suit, tailored with the kind of precision that only whispered money instead of shouting it. His presence was controlled, calculated, powerful. But it wasn't the clothes or the expensive watch or even the silent confidence that froze the class. It was his face. Every student went wide-eyed in instant recognition, because they had seen that face before. On billboards, on TV interviews, on magazine covers, in every news headline about global business, investments, and innovations. A man whose name was synonymous with influence, power, and wealth. Miss Harrington blinked so hard her glasses slipped down her nose. Is that? Someone gasped. Someone else dropped their pencil. The man's sharp, steady eyes scanned the room, until they landed on Liam. And the entire school's image of him shattered in a second. Liam looked up at the man, his expression shifting from fear to something soft, familiar, safe. The man walked toward him with a controlled stride, stopping beside his desk. "Liam," he said calmly, "I came as soon as you called." Miss Harrington's throat bobbed as she stepped forward, flustered. "Yes, sir, Mr. Callahan. I didn't know, we weren't aware." He didn't look at her. Not yet. He kept his attention on the boy everyone underestimated. "You all right?" he asked quietly. Liam nodded once. "Yeah." The billionaire, one of the most powerful men in the country, turned slowly toward Miss Harrington with a gaze so cold, so controlled, so sharp that the room felt like it had dropped 10 degrees. "What?" he asked. "Exactly is going on here?" The entire class held its breath. Because the last person anyone expected to walk into their classroom was Liam's guardian. Liam had never seen Miss Harrington look so small. Her authority, the thing she wrapped around herself like armor, crumbled the moment Mr. Callahan stepped fully into the room. His presence didn't just fill the space. It pressed against it, reshaping the air, demanding respect without raising his voice or even lifting his chin. We were just having a misunderstanding in class," she stammered, smoothing her blouse with trembling hands. "Nothing serious." Mr. Callahan turned his head slightly, his expression unreadable. "A misunderstanding?" "Yes," she insisted. "Just a routine academic concern. I assure you we treat all our students fairly." A girl in the back snorted under her breath. Miss Harrington pretended not to hear. Liam sank a little lower in his seat. He hated this. He hated being the center of attention. He hated when people treated him differently because of who his guardian was. He hated how quickly adults switched from condescending to terrified the moment they recognized the man beside him. Mr. Callahan finally spoke. "Liam called me." The teacher froze again. He continued. "He only calls me when something is seriously wrong." Liam felt the weight in the room shift, every student staring now not at him, but at the man who could buy the entire school district without blinking. People always assumed Mr. Callahan would be cold, distant, or cruel. Billionaires on TV always looked that way. But this man, he lowered his voice the way people do when they care. When they're worried. Miss Harrington clasped her hands tightly in front of her. "He submitted a report that I believe was not his original work, and It is mine," Liam whispered. The billionaire placed a hand on the back of Liam's chair. "I know it is." The casual certainty in his tone did something strange to the room. It softened something in some students and hardened something in the teacher. Miss Harrington cleared her throat. "With all due respect, the assignment contained advanced terminology and insights far above the expected level. I had concerns about authenticity." "So you publicly humiliated him?" Mr. Callahan said flatly. Her face drained. "Humiliated? No, not at all. I simply asked him to explain the context." "You asked him to tell you who his guardian is," he said. "And you penalized him when he refused." His voice remained even, but there was something razor-sharp underneath it, something that made the hairs on Liam's arms rise. Miss Harrington sputtered. "It's standard practice to verify sources." "Does it require degrading a student in front of the class?" he asked. No one dared move. A boy near the window slowly slid his phone into his pocket, realizing this wasn't the moment to sneak a recording. Miss Harrington blinked rapidly as if trying to hold on to control. "Mr. Callahan, I assure you I acted within Do you know why Liam doesn't tell people about me? The question sliced her words in half. She opened her mouth but no sound came out. His gaze softened, not toward her but toward Liam. Because every time he does, they treat him differently. They stop seeing him. They see my name, my face, my bank account. They expect him to be someone he's not. Or they resent him for it. Liam stared at the desk, throat tight. Mr. Callahan continued. He has worked hard to stay invisible. To just be a normal kid. Some students exchanged uncomfortable glances. They'd never considered that being connected to someone powerful could feel like a burden. Instead, Mr. Callahan added, you turned your assumptions into accusations. Ms. Harrington swallowed. I was only trying to guide him. By calling him a liar? Silence. The class sat frozen, not because the billionaire was yelling but because he wasn't. His composure was more unsettling than anger would have been. He pulled out the chair next to Liam and sat beside him, ignoring the stunned gasps from the back of the room. Let me ask you something, he said slowly. Did you read his report? Miss Harrington hesitated. That alone was an answer. I skimmed it, she admitted. You skimmed it, he repeated. He picked up the paper from Liam's desk, smoothed it gently, and read aloud one line, Liam's favorite line. Innovation isn't about building bigger things. It's about building things that make life easier for the people who need it most. A ripple of surprise moved across the classroom. The sentence was simple but it held weight. Heart. Thought. Mr. Callahan looked at the teacher again. Does that sound like plagiarism to you? She pressed her lips together. Liam wrote that, he said. Because that's what he grew up hearing. Liam felt heat rush to his face. Not embarrassment but something warmer. Pride mixed with fear mixed with longing. He didn't like being praised in public, but he liked knowing Mr. Callahan believed in him. The billionaire folded the paper carefully. If you had spoken to him privately, he would have explained everything. Instead, you singled him out. I didn't mean to, she began. You did. Miss Harrington looked down at her shoes. Mr. Callahan leaned back slightly. Liam is quiet. But he is not stupid. And he is not a liar. A soft murmur ran through the room. Agreement finally surfacing. But then something changed. Liam could feel it before he saw it. Mr. Callahan's shoulders stiffened. His jaw tightened. His expression shifted from controlled anger to something darker, something far rarer. Fear. It was subtle, but Liam knew him well enough to see it. Why was he afraid? Before he could ask, the billionaire rose from his chair and scanned the room once more. Liam, pack your things. We're leaving. The class gasped. Liam blinked. But what about school? We're done here for today. Miss Harrington stepped forward quickly. Sir, please let's discuss. We will, he cut in. After Liam is out of this room. The tone was final. Liam slowly gathered his things, feeling eyes glued to him. Some were sympathetic. Others were stunned. A few were clearly reevaluating every assumption they had ever made about him. Just as they reached the door, Mr. Callahan paused. And Miss Harrington? He said without turning around. She stiffened. Yes. You're lucky, he said quietly. That Liam asked me not to make this worse. Her knees nearly buckled. Then he placed a hand on Liam's shoulder and guided him into the hallway. The door clicked shut behind them. The moment it did, Mr. Callahan's calm slipped. He inhaled sharply, running a hand through his hair. Liam's stomach twisted. What's wrong? Mr. Callahan hesitated, eyes scanning the hall as if searching for listening ears. We need to get home, he said. Now. Liam froze. Why? The billionaire lowered his voice. Because the reason I rushed here wasn't just your call. Liam's pulse spiked. Mr. Callahan leaned closer. Someone found out about you. And suddenly, humiliation in a classroom was the least of Liam's problems. Liam's breath caught. He'd heard Mr. Callahan say many things in many tones, but never this one. Never the strained, low, almost whisper that didn't match the confident billionaire the world knew. This wasn't the voice of a man feared in boardrooms. This was the voice he used only when danger brushed too close. Liam clutched the strap of his backpack. Who found out? Mr. Callahan didn't answer immediately. Instead, he scanned the hallway again. Students laughing, lockers slamming, teachers rushing between periods. Everything looked normal. But Mr. Callahan's shoulders were tight, and his jaw was set. "Walk," he ordered quietly. "Don't look worried." That was impossible. Liam's heart hammered like it was trying to claw out of his chest. He followed Mr. Callahan down the hall, trying to make his steps look casual. He didn't know why, but he felt watched. He felt like every corner had eyes. They reached the exit doors. As soon as they stepped outside into the crisp afternoon air, Liam whispered, "What's happening?" Mr. Callahan opened the back door of the black SUV waiting at the curb. The driver, Mr. Callahan's most trusted aide, stood stiff, scanning the street. Only when the doors closed and the car began to move did Mr. Callahan finally speak. "There's been a leak," he said. "Someone spread information about you online. Not your name yet, but someone was asking questions." Liam frowned. "About me? Why?" Mr. Callahan rubbed his temples. "People in my position make enemies, Liam. People who want leverage. People who'll search for any vulnerability." Liam stared at his hands. "And I'm a vulnerability?" Mr. Callahan's head snapped toward him. "No. Your family." Liam swallowed hard. That word always felt heavy. He wasn't related to Mr. Callahan by blood. He wasn't adopted. It was complicated, and painful, and private. But family didn't always mean DNA. Mr. Callahan exhaled. "You were supposed to stay protected. Hidden. Anonymous. I wanted you to have a normal life." "I was trying," Liam whispered. Mr. Callahan's expression softened. "I know." The SUV slowed at a red light. Outside, kids walked home laughing, pushing each other, living lives that felt so simple compared to the weight pressing on Liam's ribs. After a moment, Liam gathered courage. "What kind of leak?" Mr. Callahan hesitated before answering. "Someone spotted us together last week. At the conference." Liam's throat tightened. "But no one recognized me." "They didn't," Mr. Callahan said. "But someone recognized me. And they noticed I wasn't alone." Liam remembered the evening clearly. He'd begged to come just once, because he wanted to see what Mr. Callahan actually did. The world always painted him like a myth, cold, ruthless, brilliant. But Liam knew the truth. He was human. He cared. He worried. He tried too hard to hide his emotions, but Liam saw them anyway. They'd left through a side entrance. Or so they thought. "Someone snapped a picture," Mr. Callahan said. "It's blurry. But someone online posted it with a caption. 'Who's the kid the billionaire keeps hiding?'" Liam's heartbeat stuttered. "They don't know your name," Mr. Callahan said. "But they're trying to find it." The SUV fell silent. Liam stared out the window as the city blurred by. His school. His street. His life. It all felt fragile now. Too fragile. Like glass shaking on the edge of a table. "Is it serious?" Liam finally asked. "Yes," Mr. Callahan said. "Serious enough that I had to come immediately. Serious enough that I couldn't wait for the driver to come inside. Serious enough that we need to change plans." "Plans?" Liam asked. Mr. Callahan nodded. "Security wants you out of school for a few days. Possibly longer." Liam's stomach dropped. "But I can't just leave. People will ask questions." "They'll get answers," Mr. Callahan said. "Controlled ones." Liam hated the word controlled. It always meant he had no control at all. He sank back into the seat. "Why can't my life just be normal?" Mr. Callahan's eyes softened. "Because you were never meant to live a small life." Liam didn't know whether that was comforting or terrifying. The car turned onto a quieter road. Trees lined the sidewalk. A familiar neighborhood. Home. But something felt off. The driver glanced in the rearview mirror. "Sir." Mr. Callahan leaned forward. "What is it?" The driver hesitated. "The car behind us. It turned when we turned." Liam's pulse jumped. "Maybe they live around here." The driver didn't answer. The SUV made another turn. The car behind them did too. Mr. Callahan's shoulders stiffened. "Take the long route." The driver nodded and took a left instead of going straight. The car behind followed. Liam felt his throat close. "Are we being followed?" Mr. Callahan didn't answer, which was an answer in itself. Liam whispered. Is this because of the leak? Is someone after me? No one is touching you, Mr. Callahan said firmly. Not while I'm here. The SUV picked up speed. They turned again. The car behind followed again. Mr. Callahan reached into his jacket and pulled out his phone. His fingers moved fast as he typed a message. The driver's voice was low. Sir, should I call in the escorts? Not yet, Mr. Callahan said. Let's confirm first. They turned into another street. So did the car behind them. I knew it, the driver muttered. Definitely following. Liam's heart hammered. Who are they? He whispered. We'll find out, Mr. Callahan said. But not here. He leaned forward. Take the river route. The driver nodded sharply and pressed the gas. The SUV sped through the neighborhood, heading toward a long winding road that led to the river. A place with fewer cars, fewer people, and no traffic lights. Liam's breath came fast. What do they want? Why are they following us? The billionaire's voice hardened. Because someone somewhere thinks that getting to you is a way to get to me. Liam felt a chill run down his spine. The river was up ahead. The road narrowed. The trees thickened. And the car behind them kept gaining slowly, quietly, deliberately. Mr. Callahan braced a hand on the back of Liam's seat. Stay calm, he said. We're going to be fine. But Liam could see something in his guardian's eyes. Something he'd never seen there before. Uncertainty. The SUV rounded a sharp bend, and the car behind them suddenly accelerated. Fast. Too fast. Liam's breath caught. Sir, the driver said urgently. They're coming up on us. Mr. Callahan grabbed Liam's arm. Get ready. For what? Liam choked out. Mr. Callahan looked straight ahead. For the fact that this isn't just about a school report anymore. The SUV shot forward, engine humming deep as the driver pushed the speed limit. Trees blurred past, shadows stretching like long fingers across the narrow river road. The air inside the car felt tight, too tight, as if fear itself had taken up space. Liam could taste adrenaline on his tongue. The car behind them sped up again. They're too close, the driver said through clenched teeth. Mr. Callahan kept one hand gripping the back of Liam's seat, steadying him instinctively. Stay low, he told him. Just in case. Liam ducked slightly, heart pounding like a drum against his ribs. What do they want? Are they trying to? No one's touching you, Mr. Callahan said again, firmer this time. Not while I'm here. Focus on breathing. Easy for him to say. The other car surged forward. Its engine snarled. A harsh, aggressive sound that made Liam's stomach knot. They weren't trying to pass. They weren't slowing down. They were closing in deliberately. Sir, the driver said suddenly. They're trying to box us in. Mr. Callahan leaned forward. Which side? Left. Liam felt the car swerve as the driver shifted lanes. The pursuing vehicle matched them instantly. Like a shadow. Like it knew every move they'd make. Liam grabbed the seatbelt with white-knuckled fists. How do they even know where we are? They don't, Mr. Callahan said. They're following me. I'm the one they locked onto. You just happen to be with me. The words hit harder than Liam expected. He wasn't sure if he felt relieved, or suddenly more afraid. The driver checked the mirror again. They're too good. If they get close enough, I can't brake. Then don't let them, Mr. Callahan said calmly, too calmly. The kind of calm that only comes from someone who has planned for danger before. Liam swallowed. This is because of me, isn't it? Mr. Callahan shook his head. This is because I care about you. Liam looked down, chest tight. The SUV reached a fork in the road, right toward the river bridge, left back into the outskirts of the city. Left. Mr. Callahan commanded. The driver jerked the wheel sharply left. So did the pursuer. No hesitation. No delay. They're not losing us, the driver muttered. The road narrowed again, trees closing in overhead, branches whispering against the roof as the SUV rushed through a tight bend. Mr. Callahan tapped rapidly on his phone. I'm sending our location. Escorts will intercept if we can stall long enough. How long is long enough? Liam asked. Mr. Callahan's answer was grim. A few minutes. The other car closed in. 1 minute felt like an hour. The SUV shot down another curve, tires skidding slightly before gripping the pavement again. Liam braced against the seat as the centrifugal force pulled him sideways. The driver steadied the wheel. Hold on. The road dipped suddenly, rising again toward a small bridge. The river shimmered to the right, dark water swaying under the late afternoon sun. The pursuing vehicle accelerated again. Too fast. They weren't trying to hide anymore. They were coming straight for them. Mr. Callahan exhaled slowly, then said something that made the air go ice cold. They're not interested in just following anymore. Liam's stomach lurched. Then what are they? A loud bump shook the SUV. The pursuing car had tapped their bumper. Testing. Provoking. Or warning. Sir, the driver said, voice tense. They just made contact. I know, Mr. Callahan murmured. Be ready. Another bump, harder this time. The SUV jolted forward. Liam gasped and gripped the back of Mr. Callahan's jacket. Why are they doing that? To intimidate us, Mr. Callahan said. Or scare us into making a mistake. The third bump came harder, almost lifting the back wheels for a split second. The driver cursed under his breath. They're escalating. Liam's pulse roared in his ears. Should we stop? No, both men answered at once. Stopping makes us sitting targets, Mr. Callahan said. Keep going. The SUV hurtled forward. The bridge was coming up in a matter of seconds, but the road narrowed even more, barely wide enough for two cars. If the pursuer tried anything here. Liam didn't let himself finish the thought. The SUV climbed onto the bridge. Wooden planks thudded under the tires. The water below roared softly, a calm contrast to the panic tightening the air. The pursuing car followed them onto the bridge, engine growling louder. That's when Liam heard it. A faint ringing from Mr. Callahan's phone. Then a voice. Escort team en route. 90 seconds. 90 seconds felt like a lifetime. Liam pressed himself back into the seat, as if distance from the rear window could save him. He didn't want to cry. He didn't want to look scared. But he was. He was terrified. Another bump. Harder. The SUV fishtailed slightly across the wooden planks. The driver yanked the wheel to correct. Sir, they're trying to force us off the bridge. Mr. Callahan's eyes sharpened. Hold steady. I'm trying. The pursuing car slammed into them again, this time on the left, making the heavy vehicle tilt dangerously toward the river. A scream caught in Liam's throat. Mr. Callahan grabbed the back of Liam's seat again. Hold on to something. The SUV scraped against the bridge rail. Wood splintered. Liam felt the impact vibrate through the entire frame. They're trying to break the railing, the driver yelled. If they hit again, we won't give them the chance, Mr. Callahan said. He typed something quickly into his phone. A second later, the driver's phone buzzed. A map. A route. A message. Hard right, Mr. Callahan instructed. But sir, do it. The driver pressed the gas, swerving violently at the end of the bridge. The pursuing vehicle tried to react, but it was late. Too late. The SUV shot down a narrow side road between two factory buildings. Just wide enough for them. Not wide enough for a full-size sedan. The pursuing car screeched, slamming brakes, skidding sideways, unable to follow the tight turn. The SUV sped deeper into the industrial row, hidden by metal walls. The driver slowed only when Mr. Callahan said, We lost them. Liam's breath trembled out of him. We did, he whispered. For now, Mr. Callahan said. But this is only beginning. Liam leaned back, heart still racing. Why would they chase us? They don't even know who I am. Mr. Callahan looked out the window, his expression unreadable. That, he said quietly, is exactly the problem. The SUV rolled to a stop beside a warehouse. The door locks clicked. Mr. Callahan rested a hand on Liam's shoulder. We're going inside, he said. There's something I should have told you a long time ago. Liam froze, because the look in Mr. Callahan's eyes wasn't anger or fear. It was guilt, deep, heavy guilt. About who you really are, he whispered. And suddenly the classroom humiliation felt like a different lifetime. Everything Liam knew was about to change. The hallway was silent in that heavy, suffocating way that made even breathing feel too loud. Students pretended to look at their lockers, their shoes, the ceiling. Anywhere but the little boy standing alone by the wall, and the man walking toward him with that slow, deliberate calm that made adults nervous. Mr. Callahan stopped right in front of Liam. Not over him. Not towering like so many adults did. He lowered himself slightly, leveling his eyes with the boy's. "Liam," he said softly. "Look at me." Liam did. This time he didn't look away. And for a second, just one, Mr. Callahan's whole expression cracked. Like someone had taken a hammer to a mask made of stone. You could see a flash of regret, fear, and something deeper, something ancient. "Did she hurt you?" he asked quietly. Liam shook his head. "No, she just humiliated me." Callahan closed his eyes very briefly, like he was studying something inside himself. "Only humiliated you?" he repeated. That was when Liam's voice trembled. "It's fine," Liam whispered. "I'm used to it." Callahan's head lifted sharply. "Used to it?" Liam's throat tightened. "It's always like this. Teachers, kids. Everybody thinks I'm lying whenever I talk about anything. About what I've seen. About you." His voice cracked at the last word, and Mr. Callahan's jaw clenched so hard a muscle ticked beneath the skin. In the corner of their vision, Miss Harrington watched them from inside the classroom, frozen behind the glass panel of the door. Mr. Callahan straightened, still calm, but the air around him felt different, heavier, like the atmosphere just before a storm hits Earth. "Stay right here," he told Liam. "Not harsh. Not clipped. Just steady. Protective." Liam nodded. Callahan turned and walked back to the classroom door. Every student watching felt it. Something was about to happen. Something big. Something story-worthy. Even the bullies who usually snickered had gone stone cold, backs pressed against their lockers like they were trying to disappear into them. The door opened. Miss Harrington scrambled to her feet behind her desk. "Oh, sir, wait. We don't allow parents to." Callahan cut in, voice calm. "I'm not here as a parent." Her face dropped. Students inside the room fell silent instantly. Callahan looked slowly around the classroom, taking in every detail. The desks. The faces. The kids who had laughed at Liam. The ones who looked guilty now. The ones who looked terrified. "This morning," he began, "you accused Liam Callahan of lying." His tone wasn't loud, but it filled every corner of the room. "You questioned his character. You embarrassed him. You called him delusional because you assumed a child who looks like him, who dresses like him, who comes from his background, could not possibly know what he knows." Miss Harrington swallowed. "Sir, I understand your frustration, but—" "You don't," he said simply. "But you will." He lifted a small black card from his coat pocket and placed it on her desk. A platinum security clearance badge. The kind used only by top-level government contractors and high-risk private operations. The kind few people on Earth ever got close enough to even see. Her breath caught. Someone whispered, "No way." Another student mouthed, "What is that?" Miss Harrington's hand shook as she picked it up. On the badge beneath the seal it read, "Callahan Group, Executive Security Director." Students froze. Teachers froze. Even Miss Harrington seemed to lose the strength in her legs. Everyone in the school knew the name Callahan Group. They didn't build apps. They didn't sell products. They didn't make cute commercials. They controlled infrastructure, defense technology, global data security systems, transportation networks, energy grids. People whispered that the Callahan Group had more influence than some governments. And the man in front of them was the one the entire world listened to when things went wrong. "I don't understand," Miss Harrington whispered, her voice hollow. Callahan looked at her for a long moment before answering quietly. "Liam is not lying. He has never lied. He doesn't need to." Miss Harrington blinked rapidly. I didn't know." "No," Callahan said. "You didn't care to know." That line hit her harder than shouting ever could. Hard enough that her knees actually buckled, and she had to grip the edge of her desk to stay upright. "So he's really connected to." Her eyes drifted down to the badge. Callahan nodded once. Students whispered sharply. Phones silently appeared. Screens lit up. Screenshots of the badge. Pictures of Callahan standing in the doorway. The story was already spreading. Callahan turned back to the door. "Liam," he called. The boy stepped in, unsure, nervous, small, but no longer invisible. Every eye in the room locked onto him. Not with mockery. Not with doubt. With fear. With shock. With the sudden realization that the kid they dismissed was someone they never should have underestimated. Callahan placed a hand gently on Liam's shoulder. "You owe no one here an explanation," he said quietly. Miss Harrington stepped forward. "Liam, I'm so sorry. I didn't know." Liam's voice was barely a whisper. "You never asked." That line stunned the room into perfect silence. Callahan motioned toward the desk. "Pack your things," he told Liam. "We're leaving." Miss Harrington panicked. "Sir, please, Liam can stay. There's no need to withdraw him." Callahan turned his head slightly. "I didn't say I was withdrawing him." Everyone froze. His eyes sharpened like they were cutting through the air. "I'm taking him home today because there are things he needs to know. Things I've kept from him for too long." Liam blinked up at him. "Kept from me?" Callahan's expression softened just slightly. "Yes." Students leaned forward. Even Miss Harrington forgot to breathe. This wasn't over. Not even close. Whatever Callahan was about to reveal would change everything they thought they knew. The ride home was the longest silence Liam had ever sat in. Mr. Callahan drove without speaking, hands steady on the wheel, gaze sharp but far away, like he was watching memories play out on the windshield instead of the road. Liam kept glancing at him, waiting for an explanation, but Callahan didn't offer one. Not yet. Not until the car pulled into the underground parking of the high-rise building Liam had only visited once. Callahan's residence. The kind of place where the walls were bulletproof, the elevators scanned retinas, and the parking lot was so silent it felt like stepping into another world. Liam stepped out of the car slowly. His voice barely rose above a whisper. "Why did we come here?" Callahan locked the car and motioned toward the elevator. "Because you're old enough," he said quietly, "to learn the truth." The elevator chimed open into Callahan's penthouse, a sleek, glass-walled space overlooking the entire city. Liam paused, unsure if he should step inside. He'd been here once before. As a child, barely old enough to remember, barely old enough to understand anything other than that this man always appeared out of nowhere, always watching him, always protecting him, yet never letting him close. Callahan noticed his hesitation. "It's your home too," he said gently. Liam blinked. "What?" Callahan sighed and walked past him deeper into the apartment, loosening his tie for the first time Liam had ever seen. "There are things you've never been told. Not by the school. Not by social workers. Not even by me." Liam's heart thudded hard. "My mom? Is this about her?" Callahan stopped walking. Slowly he turned, and the look in his eyes told Liam everything. "Yes. Sit," Callahan said softly. Liam did. Callahan didn't sit across from him. He sat beside him, close enough for Liam to feel the tension radiating off him like heat. "Your mother didn't die in the way you were told." Liam froze. For years, people whispered different versions of the story. Some said she collapsed. Some said she got sick. Some said she was in the wrong place at the wrong time. But the truth? No one ever told him. What really happened? Liam whispered. Callahan inhaled slowly. A threat was made against the Callahanan group. A retaliation attempt. Your mother was caught in the middle of it. Liam's stomach twisted. You mean she was targeted? Callahan nodded once. And she saved your life in the process. You were only 8. She hid you before anyone got in the house. She took the danger onto herself so you wouldn't be found. The words hit Liam like a wave, knocking the breath out of him. His eyes burned, vision blurring. She saved me because of you? Callahan's jaw clenched. She saved you because she loved you. But yes, what happened was connected to me. My work. My enemies. Liam's heart pounded painfully. So all this time, I thought it was just life. Bad luck. A tragedy. Callahan shook his head. No, it was a consequence. One I will never forgive myself for. Callahan leaned forward, resting his elbows on his knees, head bowed slightly. After she was gone, I kept you safe the only way I knew how, by staying in the shadows. By watching from a distance. By stepping in only when threats got too close. Liam swallowed hard. You were always there. But I never understood why. Callahan looked up. You didn't need to understand then. He paused. But today? When I heard what that teacher said to you. The disrespect, the assumptions, the humiliation. Something inside me snapped. Liam blinked. You came because she embarrassed me? No, Callahan corrected, voice low and steady. I came because she treated you the way the world treated your mother, like she didn't matter. Like her story didn't matter. Like your life didn't matter. Silence filled the room. Not empty silence. Heavy silence. The kind that carried 10 years of secrets in it. Liam whispered. You're telling me this now because I'm older? Callahan hesitated. No. I'm telling you because you're in danger again. Liam's chest tightened. Danger? Now. Callahan nodded. The same group that targeted your mother resurfaced 2 months ago. We intercepted communications. Anonymous chatter. Mentions of unfinished business. Mentions of you. Liam's breath hitched. Me? Why would anyone want? Because you're not invisible, Liam. You never were. Callahan stood and walked across the room to a secure panel in the wall. He placed his palm on it. A hidden compartment slid open. Inside were files. Stacks of them. Names, photographs, coded pages, security tags, encrypted tablets. Callahan pulled out one thin black folder and set it on the table. On the top was a photo. Of Liam. Taken from far away. Through a window. Liam's heart dropped to his stomach. When was this taken? He whispered. 3 weeks ago. Liam shook his head, panic rising. Why didn't you tell me sooner? Callahan's voice softened. I didn't want to scare you. But when your teacher humiliated you today, when you looked like you believed everything she said, I realized something. What? You deserve to know the truth. And you deserve to stop hiding from a world that was always going to find you. Callahan closed the file. Liam, he said quietly, you have a choice now. Liam wiped his face with shaking hands. A choice. Callahan nodded. You can continue living the life you've been living, school, normal routines, pretending to be someone the world overlooks. Liam swallowed. Or. Callahan's gaze locked onto his. Or you can let me train you, prepare you, teach you everything your mother wanted you to know. Liam's breath caught. Train me for what? Callahan's answer was simple. For the future she died protecting. The silence after Callahan's words felt like the calm before a storm. Liam's mind raced 1,000 miles an hour, but all he could hear was his own heartbeat, pounding like a drum in his chest. Train me? Liam finally whispered, voice trembling. You mean become like you? Fight like you? Survive like you? Callahan's expression softened. Almost painfully human for a man Liam had always seen as untouchable. Not like me, Liam. Like yourself. Stronger than you ever imagined. Smarter. Faster. Ready for whatever comes next. You have the blood of someone who never gave up. Someone who faced fear and sacrificed everything. That's your inheritance. That's your power. Liam swallowed hard. Every instinct in him screamed both fear and excitement. He'd lived his life thinking he was ordinary, powerless. A boy whose father abandoned him and whose mother died before he could even fully know her. And now? Now the truth was breaking open in front of him. A world of secrets, danger, and opportunity. You mean all those times I felt weak, helpless? I wasn't. Liam asked, voice cracking. You weren't, Callahan said firmly. You were being tested. You just didn't know it. And the world, it isn't going to wait for you to catch up. You either rise or you get left behind. Liam's chest tightened. And if I fail? Callahan leaned closer. You won't. Because I'll be with you. Just like she was. Just like I've always been. The next morning, Liam woke to a training regimen that made every part of his body scream. Callahan wasn't just teaching him self-defense. He was teaching him strategy, observation, coding, negotiation, reading people, and understanding threats before they could touch him. Every exercise was designed to sharpen his mind as much as his body. By day 3, Liam could already anticipate Callahan's moves in sparring. By week 1, he was noticing patterns in the city, suspicious people, unusual deliveries, strange cars. By month 1, Liam wasn't just surviving in his old world, he was dominating it. But every night after training, Liam would lie awake staring at the ceiling, replaying that black folder, that image of himself taken weeks ago. Someone had been watching him. Someone dangerous. And he didn't know why. One evening, as the sun dipped below the skyline, Liam spotted the same black SUV from the photo parked across the street from the penthouse. His pulse spiked. Callahan appeared behind him, silently observing. "You see them?" Liam asked, barely able to keep his voice steady. Callahan nodded. "They're testing you. Measuring your response. That's why I pushed you so hard. You need to react, not panic." Liam's fingers tightened around the edge of the balcony. "What do we do?" Callahan smiled just slightly, the kind of smile that carried calm in a storm. "We turn the test back on them." For the next 48 hours, Liam and Callahan worked in complete secrecy. Surveillance, counter-surveillance, creating false trails, planting information. Liam learned to outsmart enemies, anticipating their every move. Then, on the third night, the moment arrived. The black SUV moved. Liam followed Callahan's lead, tracking every turn, every stop. They arrived at an abandoned warehouse on the outskirts of the city. Liam's heart pounded. His hands were steady, his mind focused. Inside, shadows moved. Figures whispering, preparing something Liam didn't fully understand. But Callahan whispered in his ear. "Remember, stay calm. Watch first. Act second." Liam nodded. Every lesson, every late-night drill, every moment of pain, all of it led to this. Suddenly, lights flashed. A figure stepped forward. Liam froze. "You." Liam breathed. The man in front of him sneered. "So this is the kid." Liam's training kicked in. He remembered Callahan's words. Strongest is the one who controls fear, not the one who ignores it. With precise movements, Liam disarmed, redirected, and neutralized threats with Callahan guiding silently in the shadows. Every step was calculated, every move intentional. The attackers, highly trained, ruthless, had underestimated a boy they thought had no chance. By the time Liam and Callahan stepped out of the warehouse, dawn was breaking. The city stretched out below them, unaware of the battle that had been waged in its shadows. Liam's body was bruised, bloodied, but alive. Victorious. Back in the penthouse, Liam sat in front of the glass walls overlooking the city. Callahan joined him. "You did it," Callahan said simply. Liam laughed, a mixture of relief and disbelief. I actually did it." Callahan placed a hand on his shoulder. "You're not just a survivor anymore. You're a force. You honor your mother's sacrifice. And you make your own future." Liam looked out at the sunrise, feeling something he'd never felt before. Empowered. Brave. Ready. He thought of the teacher who had doubted him, the classmates who had laughed, the world that had underestimated him. And for the first time, he felt the truth of what Callahan had said. The world isn't going to wait for you. You rise, or you get left behind. Liam smiled. "I'm rising." And for the first time he truly believed it. The story closes with Liam looking forward. No longer a boy defined by tragedy or doubt. He's a young man who has inherited strength, wisdom, and courage, and the audience is left with the perfect emotional resonance. Triumph, growth, and the promise of even bigger challenges ahead. Ensure you subscribe to the channel for more update. Thank you.